Doodlebud here. I gotta make a correction on the video I just recently made, the review of the Asvine V200. I said you couldn't swap the Asvine branded nibs and feeds with Bock. There's a little bit of truth to that, but there's also some incorrectness to that. So let's just get to this right now. And also I got a warning for you because I might have totally messed up my pen here a little bit, but we'll get to that in a second. So here I have some pens, a couple Asvines, and a couple pens that take Bock nib units. So let's pop out an Asvine nib unit right now. Here, I'll do it over here to the one that's not screwed up. You'll see what happened here in a moment. I recorded the video, then it got really messed up, so I thought I would save all the footage of me messing things up and just cut straight to the chase. On the left is a Bock nib housing with a Bock nib and a Bock feed. On the right, we have the Asvine housing with an Asvine nib and the Asvine feed. Let's pop some of these bits out. There are a few little changes. So the threads that they use on both the housings is the same, but you can see on the housings there are some differences in details. Here we have a little O-ring at the top. We don't have that. The positioning of the threads, that's going to be a key one. That's going to come into play a lot. That is different. This little flat spot, I don't think that's going to matter too much. Like the bore diameter that you're going to need for clearance and all that for the threads will all be the same. But these locations are going to change things quite a bit. Let me show you on a pen here. So here is the V200. So this titanium pen, this is a titanium, Bock titanium nib. This is my Ensso Italia titanium. I did that anodized job myself. I did the matching nib with it. I have a video on that if you want to see. A lot of times if you have a question, the answer a lot of the times in the comments is, I've already done a video on that. So just search my channel. But let's say you want to put that in there now, have a titanium nib on your Asvine V200. There you go. Now you got it. There are little differences. Let's get up nice and close so you can see the collar on this particular pen, on this nib and feed unit here, is sticking out a little bit further than it does with the standard Asvine one. If we screw that in, it sits in there a little bit deeper, so it's flush. Okay. As far as swapping out the nib and feeds, so you can't do that. So if we take out the Bock nib and feed out of the Bock housing, it's a no-go. Not going to happen at all. Let's try using the Bock nib on an Asvine feed and an Asvine housing. And this is, okay, I don't want to go any further. Because this is the problem I have on one of the other pens here somewhere. Does this sit? Okay. So this is a Bock nib that I fit on an Asvine feed into an Asvine housing. This thing, it is jammed in there really tight. I did the first time when I was recording. I got it loose, pulled it out again, and went a little bit deeper just to see how snug she gets. It gets extra snug. So yeah, you can slide the feed all the way in, and you can see the nib here isn't quite going all the way where it should. And if you want to press it down a little further to do that, just prepared for it to be stuck. And this still isn't far enough down. It should go a little bit deeper. It's close, but not quite there, but now it is in there. So here's another thing to take into consideration. Yes, the threads are the same, but because of the change in housing design, things can fit quite a bit different. So here is another Asvine pen, the V126. This is the Asvine branded nib, and feed and housing and all that good stuff goes in there. Let's screw it down. Okay, it's in there, it's all good. And you can see the fitment is just right. It's fully engaged, nice and flush at the top. Let's unscrew this and we will go with the Bock housing, nib, feed, all that good stuff. Again, you can't fit a Bock nib and feed into an Asvine housing, but here we are. We're going in. Oh, the O-ring got stuck in there. 1 second. All right, that belongs back on there. I'm going to put some grease on this stuff afterwards. I'll do that off camera. All right, so here is the Bock housing. Screws in. Okay, good. I'm not going to screw that anymore. Also, I'm going to damage stuff, and you can see it is sticking out quite a bit. So that's not quite right. If we try it in a different pen, so the V200, you can see the sections are quite a bit different. If I thread it in here, there we go. So much better. It's still sticking out a little bit, but that's a much better fit than it is on the other pen. So you got to be a little mindful of the section design and where the threads are and all that stuff to make everything swappable. You can't swap nibs and feeds into the Asvine housing and vice versa. You can unscrew the housings and swap them. That'll work if you put, oh, where did it go? If you put a Bock Nib into an Asvine housing with the Asvine feed, it fits, but it fits too good. It's, yeah, I might have really messed this up. I don't know. I was pulling on this thing an absolute ton, and it is not budging. So be very, very careful of that. Hope that helps explain things a little bit better. Again, if you have questions, I try to answer them down there. But if you have a question, check my other videos first. That's usually a good first step. Hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe. Hope this helps. Catch you next time.